Good afternoon. Welcome to Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. The chat is up and operational. How's everybody doing today? I'm a little tired. Okay. Well, the football game, the second football game last night went till 1:30 in the morning. I'm on Eastern Standard Time. 1:30 in the morning is too late to be watching football. I'm sorry. That's just wrong. Okay. They got to straighten that crap out. I like the Lions game starting an hour earlier, starting at 7. That was nice. But that second game going till 1:30 in the morning, that's obscene. Okay. Now I had to be up. I went to breakfast at 8:30. Short night. Okay. It's not my fault. I have to watch football. It's the law, as I understand it. I know, no overshirt again today. It's hot in here. I've got the air conditioning running, but it's hot. Probably 80 degrees in here. So what are you guys up to today? What are you doing? Yeah, I watched some news yesterday too. It's all disgusting. Well, our government not functioning. That's the only job they got, is to keep the government open, and they're failing. Who do I blame? All of the above. Okay. Every one of them. 100 U.S. senators, 435 members of Congress in the House, and the president and the vice president. I blame them all. It's all their faults. If you and I couldn't do our job, we'd get fired day one. These clowns can't do their job. We need to vote them all out of office, all of them. A clean slate. No more incumbents. I'm done with them. They're a detriment to this country. If they can't keep the government open, screw them. Next. Yeah, they all got to go. I blame each and every one of them. And I hope you do too. That's just the way I feel. One guy sitting on one end of his couch, okay? It's not cool. What else do they have to do? I mean, have to do. The only thing I see them doing is what they care to do. You and I don't work like that. Never have, never will. We always do what we have to do. They have to keep the government open, and they failed. Next. Get rid of all of them. Every single incumbent. If they're running for an office that they already hold, get them out. I don't care if we elect a group of monkeys. They could do a better job than these clowns. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. Well, our rain just finally cut loose. I'm in Michigan. We've been expecting afternoon thunderstorms. They're here. They have arrived. Well, the only thing I worry about with the thunderstorms is, losing power, which would interrupt and destroy the live stream. I don't want that. As long as power doesn't get interrupted and the internet doesn't go down, I'm good. So tell me what's on your mind today. If you don't know how to chat, well, on your TV, I don't know, hit the little up button, the top of the plus sign, hit that and go up and activate the chat so you can see it streaming on your TV. And if you want to chat, use another device, your phone, tablet, a computer. Go to YouTube and download the Discord app, and then you're free to chat. Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm here 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. The people in the chat are the stars of this show, not me. Okay. I'm virtually a ghost. I'm barely here. The people in the chat are going to run this room. They determine what we talk about. If somebody jumps in the chat and says they want to talk about spaghetti, guess what we're going to talk about? Okay. I don't care what the topic is. I really don't. I have no set agenda. I'm not here to talk about this subject or that subject or any other specific subject. That's up to the people in the chat. This is a 100% free show. No midstream ads, no sponsors, not so much as a chyron on the bottom of the page, nothing. I'm not charging you any money. I'm not after your wallet. There's no hustle. Okay. I'm not coming out with my own line of merch. Okay. Doesn't interest me. I'm not trying to make money off of you guys. I'm just simply trying to have a conversation with you. How stupid is that? I don't know too many other live streamers that aren't looking for sponsors or trying to make a buck. Ghost Mostly Media, LLC. That does need to get monetized at some point. I do need 1,000 subscribers. I do need 4,000 viewing hours. But I'm not going to put any commercials or sponsors on this show. It's always going to be free. When I decided to do this, I made a commitment to myself that I'd do it for 3 years. I got to give it a fair shot. It's hard to start up. I think 3 years will give me a valid shot at making this show successful. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. The only real rules for the show are you must follow the community guidelines established by YouTube. Don't get us kicked off the air, okay? As long as we're not kicked off the air, it's all good. Well, let's see what else. Well, I tried to get in a conversation about spaghetti. That didn't come up. All right, how about fried chicken? No, I don't care what we talk about. I really don't. I'm not trying to make this a political show. I'm not trying to make this any kind of particular show other than a chat show. I want audience participation. The more participation by the audience, the better off we are. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat. Change my topic. Otherwise, there's no telling what I could be rambling on about today. You people better jump in here and control me. I rarely control myself, so it's weird how many days we can go without people jumping in the chat. I would think that at least the non-smokers would be giving me a rash of shit. Personal opinion. I mean, I expected it when I knew I was going to smoke on the air. Could I go 2 hours without smoking a cigarette? Yes, I could. Am I going to? No, I'm not. It's my show. You don't like it? Go to the other afternoon chat. Oh, there is no other afternoon chat. This is the only one. Imagine that. Maybe you guys should start your own afternoon chat. Maybe. I can tell you how to do it. It wasn't that hard. I had Crumbelina come over and read. Then we watched videos. How to live stream on YouTube. Yeah. $13.99 a month. That's it. I didn't have to create Ghost Mostly Media LLC. I chose to do that. Just pissed away another $150. Okay. But, that was my choice. Well, I want the media company to post other things. I'll not just do this show. This show is for free, but I'll be doing other things with the media company that aren't free. I just haven't decided what I want to put on. What do you think I should put on? Jump in the chat. Tell me about it. You guys are all welcome. I don't care who you are or where you're from. I've invited you into my living room to have a conversation. Tell me what's on your mind. Tell me what you'd like to talk about. My personal opinion, the show's going great. We're not having the live stream interruptions that we were having. There's no connectivity issues now. I know we're depending on Spectrum to pull their own weight, but I think that's why I'm paying them $90 a month. This show we could discuss anything you want. I don't know all the information on all the topics, but I know a little bit of information about a few topics. I was hoping that I could learn from you guys. Tell me what's going on in your neck of the woods. I'm game. If you guys don't jump in the chat, we're stuck with wherever my mind wanders for the next hour and 45 minutes. Okay. There's no telling what I'll think of. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to walk in the park today. Well, unless I want to walk in the rain, and I seriously doubt that. Well, this time of year, that rain's cold. Okay. It's not refreshing. It's cold. I don't know. It's probably high 50s, low 60s out there today. Tell me what you're thinking about. What are your priorities? I went to breakfast with the family this morning, had a blast. Got to see videos of 2-year-old running around a maze of bales of hay. Somebody set up a maze, and the little tyke was running through there until he eventually decided to climb over a wall. Then he decided he'd climb back over the wall. It was very entertaining if you like watching little toddlers. I like watching little toddlers because they're running around like drunken sailors. They're bouncing off of things, and yeah, I just find it entertaining. But we had, let's see, 7 of us at breakfast this morning. Then I ran my errands, went to the bank and the grocery store, typical stuff. Tuesday stuff, I was actually thinking that we should change the family breakfast to Wednesdays. Why not? Why is it on Tuesday? What a random day. I don't know who picked Tuesday, but we've been doing Tuesdays for 7-8 years now. It's a little bit ridiculous, but so tell me what's going on. What's happening in your part of the world? It's quiet here. Well, I don't think half my neighbors woke up yet this morning because they were all staying up to watch the football game. And it strikes me as being absurd. If they're going to do that, if they're going to run them till 1:30 in the morning, put them all at 1:30 in the morning. God damn it. Make it fair. They have the games overseas that start at 9:30 a.m. And then they have the Seattle game last night started at 10 p.m. my time. It's just absurd. I think their whole premise for doing this is just ridiculous. They're just trying to sell more commercial time. I don't consider that to be a prime time game when it starts at 10 p.m. That's not prime time. That's ridiculous time. Personal opinion. Feel free to disagree. Okay. You're more than welcome. I got no big plans for the rest of the week. I got nothing going on. Just doing this podcast. What do you got planned this week? Anything good? Yeah, it's my Gatorade. I'm trying to be a good boy for once in my life. I think it's real interesting how much I'm trying to be a good guy. I didn't do it when I was young. So, what's going on? We have viewers. I don't get the likes, but I get views. So, somebody's watching. I don't know who. It's fine by me. I did not go through the analytics of the channel yet. I have no idea what's going on. I'll probably start paying attention to that stuff in the future. While we're still in while we're in the infancy of this show, there's very few analytics to analyze. I just soon wait for them to amass to something so that there's something to see, so that I might glean something from all the information. I have no idea who YouTube is putting this show in front of. None whatsoever. They could be marketing us to kids in outer Mongolia for all I know. I have no idea. I don't think there is a way to know until, you get the analytics over a large swath of time. I don't pay any attention to that. These are details. I'm not a detail-oriented guy. My lighting appears better today than it was yesterday. I don't know why. It just appears to be better. I did replace my light bulb. Hey, it was a dirty job, but somebody had to do it. That's about the extent of my mechanical abilities. Is I was able to change that light bulb all by myself. Yeah, it was a miracle. Next week, the Lions are on a bye. They're not playing. We get time to rest and recuperate. I say that we, like I was playing in the game last night. I was not. Yeah. After the bye, we'll be crushing Minnesota. It's okay. They got it coming. Well, we should have all of our injured guys, or most of our injured guys, healed and back in. Last night we had like a third string defense out there. Yeah. Most exciting thing about last night was the glaring problem that the NFL currently has ongoing with their referees. There was 65,000 people in Ford Stadium yelling, "Refs, you suck." Okay. Warmed my heart. It just warmed my heart. It was so nice to hear. Yeah, normally they chant Jared Goff, but now it's "Refs, you suck." Okay. The officiating in both games last night was atrocious. They need to make these guys, number one, full-time employees, and number two, accountable for their actions. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. There's no charge. And it was the officiating last night was horrific in both games. It really was. I don't care which team you're rooting for. You want the officiating to be fair, legit, right? I don't care how many times, who was it last night? Troy Aikman and who was the other announcer? Joe Buck. I don't care how many times they want to get on and try to make excuses for officiating that is, let's call it subpar. We saw face masks that wasn't called, illegal blocks in the back that weren't called, pass interference that wasn't called. We saw a first down that wasn't a first down that was challenged and then was not a first down again with a change of possession. Hello? Okay. Yeah. I think the referees last night were on a seesaw, and the fat guy won. On a seesaw, teeter-totter. I don't know what you call those. I don't even think they have those anymore, do they? Yeah, I don't know. But the whole officiating mess it was all absurd in both games. Well, if these guys were full-time employees and you held them accountable, that would seem to alleviate 90% of the problems, and the other 10% would be just, well, how about if the flag is thrown, verify it. Verify that penalty did exist. And if there were two other penalties that weren't called, call those two. It's the same thing as the retaliation thing. I saw you hit that guy, so I threw a flag. You can't hit that. Well, he hit me first. If that's the case, and instant replay can verify that he hit him first, what's the issue with throwing a second flag? Well, they can throw that late flag. They did it last week against Kansas City. A minute, 20 seconds after the play was over. Here comes the flag. I don't know. I think we also need some form of recourse. Well, they're handcuffing the coaches and the players. They're telling them, don't you dare speak poorly about the refs. Don't you dare speak poorly about the league. I dare. They ain't paying me. I dare. I tell you, it's bunk. Okay. Plain and simple. All right. That's 30 minutes on football. Now, what do you guys want to talk about? I'm doing fine. I see a lot of people that are doing fine, but nobody's been complaining to me about much anything other than the government shutdown. I think that's just totally absurd, but just my opinion. And it's still trying to cool off in here. Generally takes that air conditioner about a half hour. I don't have central air. This particular complex, I have free heat in the winter. Now they got like radiators and a boiler or something. Right now, I got the heat shut off. But, in the dead of winter, I'll have that sucker on high. Okay. Yeah, fall's definitely falling now. Leaves are everywhere. I know because when I go for a walk, it sounds like I'm scuffing my feet. It's just leaves. Well, I need to listen and make sure I'm not scuffing my feet when I walk. It's a senior citizen problem. Okay. You guys wouldn't understand. I don't know what age group you guys are. I have no clue. I'm assuming that with YouTube's guidelines, you got to be like 16 or something to get in here. But I was talking to a guy in the park the other day, a kid, a young man, I should say, and he said that he got banned from a video game, but he did it on his brother's account. Sounds like a little brother getting a big brother in trouble. That's the way I took the whole story, but I don't know. Does a lack of sleep or I don't know a minimal amount of sleep, does that make you more dehydrated as a human? Seems like I'm drinking a lot more today. I mean, it just appears that way to me. Well, I was sucking down the coffees at breakfast this morning. Yeah, I tried to take a nap, but I didn't fall asleep. I just laid and relaxed. Tell me what's going on, world. Speak to me. Well, if you're not talking, I don't got to wear the glasses. Yeah, I brushed the hair this morning. I evidently I didn't do a good job, but well, jump in the chat and feel free to chastise me for not brushing my hair. Okay. You're allowed. Yeah. I should have got a good nap, but too much going on, too much on my mind. Well, it's the 21st, you're winding down the end of the month. Now, I have no idea this government shutdown, how long it's going to last. But I think, if we all do the right thing and vote all the incumbents out of office, I would think that, they're going to start to catch on. So maybe by 2028, they'll come up with a better cast of characters for us. I blame them all for shutting down the government. They're not doing their job. Well, they'd rather protect the pedophiles. Okay. They got their own agenda, these guys. It has nothing to do with us. It all has to do with enriching themselves and their cronies. It appears to be the only thing that motivates them is money. I wonder how much we would have to bribe them to fix the government, fund it, open it back up. They all take bribes, as far as I'm concerned. In one way or another, they're all on the dole. They want to get rid of government waste, fraud, and abuse. Yeah. Vote them all out of office. Get rid of all of them. They're all waste, fraud, and abuse. From the president on down, they're all worthless pieces of shit. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. They don't seem to care. They're on paid vacation. There's no election year this year. The midterms aren't until next year. So they have no fear. This could be the longest shutdown in the history of America. I don't know. They are definitely not taking care of the people. They're not taking care of the people's business. Oh, but there'll be a new Trump Tower going up in Vietnam. They're cutting all these little side deals. $40 billion to Argentina. Not a nickel to fund the U.S. government, but $40 billion to Argentina. That's good. It's absurd. I think it'd be real funny to take their paychecks away. You didn't work this year. Sorry, guys. We're going to need all that money back. Yeah. You can't keep it. You didn't earn it. If you'd have gone into work in the month of October, we'd have paid you for the month of October. But we can't see paying you now because you didn't work. I'm sure that they're out there raising money for their next campaign. They're out there hustling with their buddies, cooking up a new backroom deal, you know. We need to put a revolving door on Congress and just keep on flushing it. Okay. Yeah, just give them one term, kick them out. Give them one term, kick them out. Give them one term, kick them out. We do that 3 election cycles in a row. I think they'll catch on. Well, these are career politicians. These ones that I think it's okay to close their government and go on vacation, they've been around for 20, 30 years. They think it's all right. Until we vote them out of office, they're going to think it's all right. I don't know. There ought to be a litmus test. You know, there ought to be, you know, some. Well, you can't give them polygraphs because, you know, most of these politicians, they can lie three different ways. Okay, they lie about everything. They used to lie about campaign promises. Now they lie about everything. They don't need a reason to lie. They just lie. Yeah. I don't know. Out of all of them, all the senators, all the congressmen, and the White House, I really doubt that I would invite any one of them to come in. Well, maybe Bernie Sanders. He'd probably be welcome in my house. And maybe Tammy Duckworth. I respect her. It's slim pickings. They're just not the kind of people you invite into your home. Well, you'd have to, you know, have to search them on their way out. What the hell did you steal from me? You know, they're not trustworthy people. In my opinion. That's a standard disclaimer, in my opinion. I see no value in any of them. I'm wondering, you know, how some of them made it this far into politics. They don't appear to be of any value. They're going to let these masked ICE agents roll up on innocent people and throw them in the back of an unmarked van. Yeah, that's not the America I want to live in. I think it's a matter of time before somebody with a CCW permit pulls it out and just blows one of them away. He's got a mask on and he doesn't have any markings to say he's a policeman, and he's not identifying himself. It's a matter of time. You think that some of these people don't have CCW permits? Carrying concealed weapon permit? Some guy in a mask comes up and attacks me, I'm going to fight him. I'm sorry. Yeah, my skin's the wrong color. He wouldn't come after me. That's how, ridiculous all this is. If they want to take out the criminals, I mean the felon criminals, right? The people that are not trying to live within the rules of our society. If they want to take those guys and deport them, I think everybody in America would say, yeah, go ahead. But if you want to arrest the maid at the local motel, I don't see it. Stupid move, son. If you want to arrest the cook at the local restaurant, or you want to arrest the farm worker, no thanks. I didn't sign up for that. Nope. You got no right. Leave them damn people alone. Once I work a shift with a guy, once I break bread with someone and they're a part of my inner circle, leave them alone. They're going to work. They're paying their taxes. What you need to do is offer them a path to citizenship, and you might want to ask them, along with that path to citizenship, could you please have some children? If you don't know what I mean, take a look at the birth rate for the United States of America. There's not enough people being born in America. We need the population to grow so that there are more people paying taxes. Without that population, what's going to happen? 20-year-old in America can't afford to have kids right now. It's too pricey. They're not millionaires. The population in America, the birth rate is decreasing rapidly. We need people to come into this country. And even though we have no right to ask or demand, we should strongly suggest that the people that are coming into America have children. It gives them a vested interest in the United States. If the parents don't want to become citizens, they shouldn't have to. But if they want to become citizens, there should be a path. I know everybody that thinks, no, we don't want them, you're making a mistake. Take a look at the birth rate. Who's going to pay you want your property taxes to be $500,000 a year? Who's going to pay for these city services if there aren't people, young people, entering the workforce and paying taxes? Who's going to pay for this? We need that birth rate to stay up. That's to our advantage. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat. Tell me what your opinion is. We need the immigrants to legally come to this country. We can probably accept, 1 million of them a year. I think we should welcome them with open arms and say, hey, while you're here, think about having kids. Who's going to work? I'm too old. I can't do the 40-hour week anymore. I'm retired now. I need someone to take my place in the workforce. All the baby boomers are retiring right now or have already retired. We're all out of the workforce. Who's going to fill those slots? Who's going to pay those taxes? You keep on thinking you don't want immigrants in this country, you're going to find out the hard way, because you're going to get your Social Security taxed. They're going to be coming after. They need the money from somewhere. How else are we going to bail out Argentina? Okay. Where'd that $40 billion come from? U.S. taxpayers. So if all the baby boomers, if my generation all retires, who's going to pay for the next Argentina? People that are against immigration in this country have not thought this through. Point blank. They have not assessed the situation. If you completely assess the situation and see how the U.S. birth rate is dropping and how in the next generation there's not going to be enough taxpayers to pay all the taxes that are due, who's going to pay that bill? Right now, this country is $37 trillion in debt. Who's going to pay that bill? You best let some young people in this country populate this country and take those jobs and pay those taxes and pay those bills. If you don't let them in, you're going to have to pay. That's all I'm saying. $1 million a year. That's probably what. There's 340 million Americans. So if we allow another million to come in each year, that will hold us off for the lowered birth rate. That will keep us afloat. If you don't let that million legally migrate to this country, somebody's going to get a bill. It ain't going to be me. I'll be dead soon. Okay? I'm an old man. Who's going to pay that bill? We need working age people. We need working age people. Okay? Plain and simple. If we don't have working age people to pay all those taxes, we're going to end up getting a bill, because they got to be paid. You think that you don't want these immigrants in this country. I'm telling you, if you have all the facts, you're going to wise up. You're going to say, whoops, boy, did I screw up. Right now, all these illegal immigrants that they're rounding up, they're paying into Social Security and can never collect. They're paying taxes and Social Security. They can't collect Social Security. They're not U.S. citizens. They can't get welfare. They're not U.S. citizens. I don't care how much your politicians lie to you. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you can't get welfare. They lie to you. They tell you, oh, the Democrats want to put them all on the government payroll. No. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you cannot collect Social Security. You cannot get food stamps. You can't get Medicaid. You can't get Medicare. You must be a U.S. citizen to receive any of that stuff. I'll wait here. Check. I'm not lying to you. You think I'm wrong? Jump in the chat. Tell me. You're wrong. You cannot collect Medicare. You cannot collect Medicaid. You cannot get food stamps. You cannot get welfare unless you're a U.S. citizen. These laws haven't changed. Your politicians are lying to you. Stop believing them, okay? Stop believing these lying politicians. Oh, they told me something that was true last year, but now there's 19 things this year that they're lying about. It's as plain as the beard on my face here, right? They're lying to you. Go Google a number for Medicaid. Google a number for Medicaid. There's a phone number there somewhere. Dial it and ask them. Tell them, if I'm not a U.S. citizen, can I get on Medicaid? They're going to tell you, no. No, you cannot. Can't happen. And these politicians, they know that most of you aren't going to go Google the number for Medicaid and call Medicaid and check. That's why they lie. If they knew that you were going to check, they wouldn't tell you that lie. They're relying on you to believe them. Don't. I stopped believing in politicians years ago. Years ago, I realized it's all lies. None of it is truth. Well, it used to be they'd make a campaign promise. Well, what was the last one? No tax on tips. No tax on Social Security. Bunk. It's a great talking point if you can fit into this small category. You don't have to pay taxes on your tips. If you can fit into this small category, you don't have to pay taxes on your Social Security. Oh, everybody else, they got to pay. It's lies. They're lying to you. Don't believe their bunk. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Call the IRS. The more questions you ask, the narrower that little category gets. Do I fit into that category? Oh, no, I don't. Nobody fits into that category. You'll find some hedge fund manager in New York City on Wall Street. He can say, oh, that's tip income. I fit into that category. I don't have to pay taxes on my tip income. He's a hedge fund manager. He's not living off of tips. And don't believe this garbage that they're telling you. That's all I'm saying. If you do believe them, shame on you. Okay. You should be smarter than that. You should know. You think you can get Medicare if you're not a citizen? Not going to happen. Never. Okay. It's against the rules. Just call Medicare. You can find a phone number for them. Call them up and say, send me a copy of your rules that say that I don't have to be a U.S. citizen to collect Medicare. No, they've lied to you. You're being taken advantage of by your own politician. Keep on voting for him. You want to talk about definition of insanity? Keep on doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Not going to happen. You're going to get the same lies. Why? Because you believed it this time. You're inviting them. Lie to me again. I'll believe you. Not me. I'm not buying into that malarkey. And that's what I see it is it's all bullshit. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. I welcome you. Well, they're lying to you about everything. Literally everything. That's why it's so hard to sort out what's real and what's fake. Start right now. Is this a real human sitting in front of you talking to you? Or am I AI? I'm not AI. But this is how much they want you to doubt. They want to cloud up the issues. Well, the next time a politician is in front of you and you have the opportunity, ask him about the birth rate of the United States of America and how, as it's dropping through the floor, as that American birth rate is dropping, who's going to pay the taxes? Ask them. They might lie to you. Be prepared, but bottom line is there's not going to be any Americans to pay those taxes if we don't let these immigration people not only immigrate to this country, but we need to encourage them to have children. Can't make them, but we need to encourage them to. Otherwise, there's not going to be any workforce to pay all the taxes. And our income taxes are the only thing supporting this government. Corporations are not paying their fair share. The rich are not paying their fair share. The entire tax burden is on us, the working class. We're the only ones paying for anything. That billionaire isn't paying for spit. He's just not. He doesn't have to. And anything that he does have to pay for, gas for his yacht, I can guarantee you it's a tax write-off for him. I can guarantee it. I haven't seen his tax return, and I can guarantee you the gas for his yacht is tax deductible. It's a business expense. He took 2 other billionaires with him, and they went to lunch. They sailed off to Catalina Island. They wrote off everything. They wrote off the yacht. They wrote off the gas. They wrote off the crew. They wrote off the cost of the lunch. They wrote off their airfare to get to the boat. They wrote it all off. They're not paying taxes on any of it. You and I are paying the taxes. This is how big business works. Until we get money out of U.S. politics, and until we say to the corporations, you can't write off your second home. You can't write off your yacht. You can't write off your 5th car. Yeah. If they had to pay taxes on the money that they earned, but before they do that, they'd put that money into an offshore account. They're not going to pay taxes. Ever. You and I pay all the taxes. The latest is the rich man is trying to roll back property taxes. He owns all the property, but he doesn't want to pay tax on it. He wants you to pay his tax. So all the rich landowners are all coming together and trying to say property taxes are bad for the working man. They're going to tell you that it's bad for you, but you're not the landowner, okay? You'd like to be able to buy some land, I'll bet. But you won't be getting yours tax-free. They want theirs for tax-free. They want you to pay, okay? That's how these guys work. They don't care about us. They want to take advantage of us. They want to use us. Why else would a $1 billion corporation be paying some of its workers minimum wage? They want to take advantage. I saw all this in the casino industry when I worked in it. The casino is making millions and millions and millions of dollars of profit every year, and they're not giving their employees raises. Nope. They are purely there to take advantage of. That's the way they see it. Most of these large corporations, if you told them it was okay for them to have slaves, they'd do it instantly. They wouldn't bat an eye. They do not, morally, they do not care about people. These guys do not have the same ethics or morals that you and I possess. It's a shame, but it's the truth. If you disagree, jump in the chat. Tell me about it. I'd like to hear your opinion. I saw an awful lot of high rollers while I was out in Vegas. A lot of them. That same guy that wouldn't pay his employees a penny above minimum wage is going on vacation, and he's playing blackjack, and he's betting $1,000 a hand. He doesn't care about all the workers he screwed last year to get that $1,000 to put out there. And he didn't pay taxes on that $1,000 that he's putting out there either. He wrote it off. Not paying taxes on that. They're not paying taxes on anything. Last year, 50 major U.S. corporations paid zero in income tax, and they had profits that were in the billions. With a B, billions. Tax-free dollars. Let me put it into other terms. How come you can't write off the cost of your lunch? The only way you can write off the cost of your lunch is if it's a business lunch. And then you're only going to get to write off about 20%. And that 20% that you're going to write off isn't going to amount to squat. But your boss, when you go into work, he can set up a buffet and write off the cost of your lunch every day you're there. Whether you eat the lunch or not, every day that you're on his property, he can write off the cost of your lunch, whether he fed you or not. That's the way big business works. The guy at the top of the heap is the one reaping all the benefits. What rolls downhill? The shit. Okay. Yeah. The bottom man on the totem pole gets nothing. The guy on the top gets everything. By design. He paid for those politicians to change those laws, not you. That's the way he looks at it. You could have went out and bribed the same politicians he did, but you didn't do it, so you're shit out of luck. Okay. Sad. Yeah, while you're working your 40-hour week, your boss is putting in 40 hours on a golf course. And even that is a tax write-off for him. It's a business expense. He took a couple of clients to golf with him. It's just absurd. But if you and your buddies want to go golfing, you got to pay, and you can't write it off. Well, it's not a business expense for you. You don't own the business. It's just absurd. I can guarantee you that any billionaire you can name, any of them, you pay more in taxes than they do. You know the name Elon Musk? I guarantee you, you pay more taxes than Elon Musk. By design. Okay? They don't pay taxes. Most of them don't pay for anything. Let's say you own a restaurant and a billionaire comes in for dinner. You want to suck up to the billionaire. You'd like him to become a regular. You'd like him to come back to your business many times and bring many friends that all have money that can spend in your business. So what do? You buy him lunch. You buy his meal. You couldn't afford it, but he never had to pay. The billionaire don't have to pay. No. It doesn't work that way. You and I pay for everything we do. Everywhere we go, we have to pay. The billionaire doesn't. What was the one I saw? Oh, the last one I saw of these nightclubs in Vegas, right? They're making a big to do or big to do. They're saying, "Oh, Kim Kardashian came in and is drinking in our establishment. That's so good for our business." Do you think Kim had to pay? No, it's the other way around. They paid Kim to come in and drink there. For her to go into a nightclub, I don't know, she probably gets $50,000 for showing up for 3 hours, maybe 4, just being seen on their property. No, she got bottle service and never had to pay for the bottle. Sorry. That's just the way it works. It's absurd. All the rich are in for a free ride. Personal opinion. And no, I don't mean Kim Kardashian specifically. I, just pulled a rabbit out of a hat here. I'm just, doesn't matter who we're talking about. They don't have to pay like you and I do. They just don't. They're the special people. Okay. I know you would think that the billionaire would be buying everyone lunch, right? No, he's not even paying for his own. The owner's kicking it to him and saying, "Hey, you're good." Okay. The owner of the restaurant then writes off the meal. I bought the billionaire his meal. It was a business expense. So he's not paying taxes either. The only thing that cost him was his food cost, It's ridiculous. These people, they've got it too easy. They don't have to pay for the things like you and I do. This is the way business has always worked in this country. They do the backroom deal, so you never hear about the kickbacks. You never hear about, you don't see it. The first thing I learned about the people with money is it's all easy to them. It comes in easy, and they don't ever have to spend it. They get to save it. And worse, they pass it on to their children without paying taxes on it. You hear them talk about estate tax or death tax. The billionaire can give his kids something like, I don't know, $20 million a year tax free. Whereas you want to give your kid $20,000, the kid's got to pay gift tax on that. And you can't write that off. That you just gave that to your kid. It's criminal. But the rich guy can give his kid $20 million every year tax free. That's the way they set it up. It's like you can't write off that interest on your home unless you're going long form on your taxes. If you're going short form easy, you never get the chance to write off that interest. You just take the standard deduction. But the billionaire, he goes and buys 6 buildings, and he gets to write off the interest on all 6 of them. That's the way the system's designed, because that businessman bribed a politician, and they set up the laws in that way. Almost all of the financial laws that are on the books are to the benefit of the wealthy. Almost all. You'll probably pay a minimum of 15% tax on your income. And the business owner will probably pay a maximum of 5% on his income. And his income will be 5,000 times greater than yours. Well, the last figure I heard from Donald Trump was in his first term. They said, he paid $750 in taxes in 2015. A billionaire paid $750 in taxes in a year that you and I paid what? 8,000, 10,000, right? That's the way they've designed all these. Congress is never going to sort it out because Congress is the one taking the bribe to set it up in the first place. And they're like, you want to tweak it? You want us to tweak it so you can steal more? That's all they're doing. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree with me. Otherwise, I'll just keep rambling on. Feel free to jump in the chat and change the subject. Give me something good to talk about. I'll bite. I'll go for it. Whatever. Change the subject. You didn't want to talk about spaghetti earlier. How about mac and cheese? You want to talk about mac and cheese? I don't care what we talk about. But if you guys don't get into the chat, we're stuck with whatever way my mind wanders today. Okay. And it's all over the board today. Yeah, my common sense went out the window when you guys didn't hold up your end of the conversation. What do you think of the show? What's your opinion of the show? Go to YouTube, download their Discord app so you can jump in here and chat. The chat's functional. It's working. It'll scroll right up the side of the screen if you guys get in there and start chatting. Tell me what you want to talk about. Tell me what's on your mind. If you could, give me a like and a subscribe too. It's supposed to help with the algorithm in some way. I don't know. I know that it doesn't cost you anything. Yeah, I'm having fried chicken for dinner tonight. Fried chicken and green beans. When I went to the grocery store, I planned my meals for the week, and Harding's sets up this Harding's Market, my grocery store. They set up a buffet, and I just picked out a couple of nice looking chicken breasts and threw them in a styrofoam container, and then I paid by the pound for them. I don't know what it is, $8, $9 a pound, something like that. Then for dinner, all I got to do is microwave them and heat them up. And, I'll take a small can of green beans and throw that in a saucepan, heat it up. I'm thinking about making apple pie for dessert tonight. I found a cheat for apple pie. I got those crescent rolls that you buy in the tube. Yeah, I just lay them flat on a cookie sheet and put apple pie filling in the middle, and then roll them up, bake them for 13 minutes, and ta-da, imitation apple pie. It's close enough, I'm not going to do the whole bake a whole pie routine. It's just me. I'm cooking for one, It's hard to cook for one if you don't want leftovers, and I don't. Probably my biggest concern about cooking dinner is the amount of dishes that are dirty. Because that's the chore I dislike the most, is doing dishes. I know, it's one of the first chores I ever got as a child, was I had to do dishes. I had to take a turn. I've hated it ever since. It's only been all my life. So the show, Afternoon Chat, hopefully it'll take off eventually. If not, I'm just going to sit here and talk to my computer 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for the next 3 years. No big deal. Well, I played video games enough that I talk to my computer anyways. And I don't have any plans for the entire week other than to do the podcast. I'm thinking about ordering a fresh turkey for Thanksgiving. Well, I'm tired of the frozen ones, and I don't need like a 20-pound bird. It's just me, one person, you know. Well, I got a friend, and excuse me for yawning. It's football's fault. I blame them. No, I was thinking about buying a fresh turkey from the butcher shop and having them debone it. And then I just take like a half of one turkey breast and then give the rest of it to my buddy. I don't know what they charge. I think it's like $2 a pound. But the fresh turkeys are smaller. You know, I think they're probably about 10 pounds, 12 pounds, something like that. Excuse me. Well, I'm trying to plan out Thanksgiving dinner so I actually get Thanksgiving dinner. Well, the family's all discombobulated, and I generally am just cooking for myself on Thanksgiving Day. They're off with each other doing family crapola, you know. My kids are out in Vegas, so there's no spread, you know. I'm thinking about just me, and I'm thinking all I need is like a half of a turkey breast. I can bake that. Maybe make some stovetop stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy and call it a meal. I don't get invited to like other families' Thanksgiving and stuff. It's like I live in a senior complex. I don't get trick or treaters for Halloween either. The rain is rocking and rolling out there today, so I'm not going to get to go for a walk. Oh, I like to go for a walk after the podcast. Gives me a chance to clear my mind, get some fresh air, and some exercise after sitting for 2 hours straight. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably see what the butcher shop would charge to debone a turkey, a whole turkey. Might be expensive, but I really don't want to have to do it myself. I don't want all the bones. Well, I've never had a fresh turkey. I've always had frozen my whole life. I would think that the fresh would be better. I don't know. Do you know? Tell me. Fill me in. Okay. Jump in the chat and tell me fresh turkey sucks or fresh turkey's great. I've had plenty of fresh chicken. I don't know. I could probably just get by with buying a Cornish game hen. Okay. Just, you know, I don't eat that much, really. Well, we're winding down the show here. Nobody was in the chat today. Just little old me. Well, generally, I close the show by talking about my live and let live policy. It seems like I'm the only one preaching this, but and I do feel like I'm preaching sometimes when I'm just sitting here talking to my computer, but we need to learn to leave each other alone. Okay. Live and let live. Stop bugging people when it's none of your business what they're doing. Personal opinion. I don't let my neighbors tell me how to live. I don't let any of my fellow residents of this town tell me what I can do and can't do or how to do what I'm doing. It's none of their business how I lead my life. It's none of my business how they lead their lives. I need to leave them alone. We're all the same, but we're all different. All at the same time. It's a miracle. We're all human beings. We all love our parents, but we are all unique. Everyone does something different than the guy next to him. Well, let's take food. How do you order your steak cooked? I'm a well done guy. I don't care how many chefs tell me I need to eat that steak medium rare. I tell them, well done. Personal preference. It's nobody's business but mine. I'm the only one going to be eating that steak, right? You cannot pick and choose for people. We all have our own tastes. We're all slightly different, even though we're all generally the same. And that's okay. You do not have to live up to my expectations. You do not have to live up to my standards. You do not have to live by my rules. On the same token, I do not have to live up to your expectations. I do not have to live under your rules. Our society has a set of rules. We call those laws, and we all must live within the constraints of those laws. But we don't have to live up to each other's expectations. If you don't like the way I parked my car, keep it to yourself. It's none of your business how I parked my car. On the same token, if I don't like the way you park your car, I need to mind my own business and leave you alone. It's not my place to sit in judgment over you. It's not in your place to sit in judgment over me. We have to live and let live. We need to establish a level of peaceful coexistence. It's hard to do when you're combining that with the freedom of speech. But that freedom of speech is a double-edged sword. Freedom of speech, you can legally call me a jerk. You're allowed to your opinion. But that's a double-edged sword, because if you can call me a jerk, I in return can call you a jerk. So you have to have a little bit of thick skin. Well, that's where the live and let live comes into play, is with that thick skin. You can't let some things bother you. If you're out in the world and you see a human being that makes a mistake, it's not your place to chastise him. It's not your place to correct him. Leave him alone. He will learn from his own mistakes, or he will pay his own price. The same token, he needs to leave me alone. I will learn from my own mistakes, or I will pay my own price. We have to get along. We have to live and let live. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to agree with each other, but we do have to peacefully coexist. We have to get along to a certain extent. So if you see someone do something or make a mistake that you would never want to do, or you would never think to do, ignore it. It's none of your business. If I decide to go 10 years without getting a haircut, it's none of your business. If you decide to go 10 years without ever shaving, it's none of my business. I need to leave you alone. You need to leave me alone. Live and let live. It's a hard concept, especially when you have most of the members of the media trying to tell you that you must hate me, or you must hate that guy, or you must hate this guy. No, you mustn't. Okay? You don't have to hate anybody. I don't. Why? Hate is bad. You can't get to hate without uncontrolled fear. And uncontrolled fear is not good for you. We must control our emotions. We must control our fear. I can't get angry and lash out at you. You cannot get angry and lash out at me. It's none of your business how I run my life. It's none of my business how you run your life. Maybe you think that you have to drive your kids everywhere they go. And maybe I think that my kids need to walk everywhere they go. It's none of my business how you take care of your kids. It's none of my business what you decide to do with your kids. It is my business what I do, not what you do. Vice versa. It's not your business if I'm making my kids walk. You have to let it go. You cannot control me. You cannot pick and choose for me. I cannot pick and choose for you. I cannot control you. Sometimes the toughest thing to do is to mind your own business. I know you're concerned about my kids. I know I'm concerned about your kids. That has nothing to do with who's concerned. It has to do with whose kids are they. You're in charge of your kids. I'm in charge of my kids. I need to respect you. I need to respect your choices, even when they're wrong. You need to respect me. You need to respect my choices, even when they're wrong. We have to learn to live together. We need to live and let live. I cannot micromanage you. It's not my place. On the same token, you cannot micromanage me. It's not your place. Here's a classic example. You can't force me to quit smoking. It's none of your damn business. On the same token, I can't force you to start smoking. It's none of my damn business. What you decide to do with your life is your business. What I decide to do with my life is my business. I've got no right to get online and start trolling non-smokers. I've got no right. It's none of my business. I have to leave you alone. In jest, I might say nobody likes a quitter. Okay. But that's only in jest. I have no right to micromanage anyone except me and my own. I know you're trying to save me. I know you are. I understand that. It's still none of your business. I had my CT scan. I came back clear. I've been smoking for over 50 years. I could quit now, but I don't want to. It's none of your business. Get past it. You can't control me. Vice versa, I can't control you. I need to get past it. I need to just shut up and let you lead your life the way you want to lead your life. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard because I do think I know best, but I only know best for me. And I understand you think you know best, but you only know best for you. Okay? We've got to live and let live. I know that they're on TV. They're telling you you got to chastise and you got to hate all these people that are smoking cigarettes. I understand. I've seen it all. But it's beyond your control. It's the same thing as I went and got my CT scan and found out my lungs are clear. I can't force you to go get a CT scan and find out if your lungs are clear. It's none of my business what you do with your doctor. I need to be an adult and allow you to be an individual. You need to be an adult and allow me to be an individual. We are all unique. You don't know what someone else is dealing with. You don't know what's going on in their life, what pressures they're under. You've got no way to know. The same way I got no way to know what pressures you're under and what's going on in your life. We need to get past it. What you're doing with your life is okay. What I'm doing with my life is okay for me. Okay? We cannot pick and choose for one another. I can prove that point. Do you have a child? Try and tell your child who they can or cannot date. It's not going to work. Your child will date whoever they damn well please, whether you like it or not. They're an individual. They have the right to be different. They have the right to be unique. We all have a right to be unique. We can be human beings and live in the same town and do things completely different, and that's okay. I have no right to force my will or my ideas of right and wrong or my morals or my ethics on you. I have no right. Vice versa, you have no right to control me. We have to live and let live. And sometimes that means that we have to be thick-skinned. You can't let this stuff bother you. It's trivial. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect my life if you're wearing a dress today. I can't tell you you cannot wear a dress. I cannot tell you how to live your life. It's none of my business. So we need to stop trying. Stop trying to make everyone form into your vision of a perfect person. You can't succeed. It's impossible. You don't know what's on my plate. I don't know what's on your plate. I don't know what you're dealing with. I don't know how you were raised. I don't know your culture. Without knowing your environment or your history or your culture, how can I even know what you're thinking? You don't know what I'm thinking. You may think you know, but you may be wrong. Our society right now is telling us to divide, to tribalize. Okay? You can, if you need to tribalize, go right ahead, divide up, stick with your own little group. But that doesn't mean that you have the right to tell the other groups how to live. Don't hate people. Love people. Be kind to one another. Be patient with one another. Be understanding. Be compassionate. Be caring. Why? Because we all have to live together. We have to work together. There's only the one planet, and we all share it. We all share it. Think about that. I have no right to tell anyone else how to live. And vice versa. They have no right to tell me how to live. We cannot pick and choose for each other, but we can make a conscious decision to cut each other some slack, to give each other some leeway. It doesn't have to be hate. There's nothing wrong with good old-fashioned dislike. There's nothing wrong with good old-fashioned disagreement. There's nothing wrong with it at all. We do not have to take this forward to hate. Tolerance. The show is called Afternoon Chat, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. I'm offering you this show. Jump into the chat and you control what we talk about. You control everything. Stay within the community guidelines. We won't have any issues at all. I invite you to agree with me. I invite you to disagree with me. I'm inviting you into my living room to have a conversation. I hope you take advantage. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. You'll know me. I'll be the good-looking guy. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.